After being denied an abortion, she got pregnant and had a kid, but depression made her give him up. He's 23, successful, and loves me, yet I feel like I missed life. I'm 40F and love my 21-year-old son Avram, but I wanted an abortion and was rejected. I adore him but never earned him. My motherhood was horrific. It was serious untreated depression, but that doesn't excuse anything. His dad and stepmom took him at 10 and love him. They made him the best young man in the world, and I'm glad. After they took him, I went to therapy and rehab for drinking. Avram kept begging to see me, so his dad gave me weekends and I tried to be a good mom. He constantly said I didn't need to apologize because I was unwell, and he liked living with me. Since he turned 18, he spent more time with me. I know I don't deserve it, and his stepmom does, but they make him happy. On Friday, his stepmom hosted a work dinner and wanted all her kids there, but Avram wanted to spend Friday with me because we always do. I knew he should support her because she's his mom. I claimed I wasn't home that day and ghosted him so he'd go, as I saw on his girlfriend's IG account. But she saw articles and messaged me that I was selfish for ghosting, which offended him. She implicitly labeled me an asshole. After that, he rarely messages me. In my opinion, I'm doing what's best for him by thanking the woman who deserves his love. I considered judging here. Comments where op commented removed. Uda, he is an adult and can choose how and with whom he spends his time. Communication is needed. Ghosting was ridiculous. Of Kite 510, Uda, your kid is 21 and too old to choose which parent to spend time with. You told him to spend out with stepmom, but he could have chosen you. If I were him, this would hurt. I didn't mean to hurt my son. You stopped being a victim and realized your son wants to see you. My mother was like you, she ignored me or urged me to go visit my dad since he loves me more. I rarely interact to her now. How about you stop feeling sorry for yourself and visit your son? Don't read this if you can't handle the harshness. At 21, he deserves to choose how and with whom he spends time. You're repeating your past behavior by ignoring him. You're saying I don't deserve him. My justifications and feelings are not his stepmom should be his focus, and she's like his true mom. Don't allow your guilt keep him from you. Make amends now. Admit you don't deserve him, but promise to stop being a coward and always be there for him. Apologize as he wishes, not as you would. That's the finest method to admit your mistakes and get his and your forgiveness. Avoid my son. I don't want my guilt to deprive him, and I know I'm a coward. My son is the best a mother could wish for, yet I don't deserve him. I did everything wrong by him, so that's no excuse. How about trying better, brute cat? Being the victim and punishing yourself won't help. If you want to improve for yourself and your son, treatment may help. Yummy Bread 69, your self-centeredness is disgusting. All you can do is talk about yourself and feelings. Your self-pity party is one of the most selfish things I've seen in this forum. Utah must do since I can't say what I think of you without being banned. Ghosting your kid, Utah, is wrong. At least admire his honesty. Could you not have asked the stepmom to attend? Do not visit my son, she does not want me. Utah, Athenorian 1. Though well-intentioned, you're trying to make decisions for an adult. You think you know his best interests. You can share your thoughts, but see your stepmom since this is special. We could meet Saturday, but respect his choices. Another therapy session may be needed. Your chat about your kid sounds like unresolved issues, and you may need help managing your connection with him as an adult. Your heart seems right. Good luck. Avoid my kid. I still continue to therapy, because my difficulties will never be cured, and I've requested him to go with me, but his school schedule and other things prevent him from doing so. After posting, I called my son Avram to admit my mistake. Thankfully, he picked up and came. He hugged me before I could speak, almost making me cry. But I kept my cool. I told him about his stepmother's event, and why I thought he should go and why I didn't deserve him. I explained what I did when he lived with me as a child, and why I didn't deserve his forgiveness. I was surprised when Avram told me that he primarily had positive memories of his time with me, and that the terrible times were just because I was sick, not my fault. It's not things I forgot, but things I never appreciated or considered. Things like taking him to Zeller's on Sundays and always letting him buy a toy. I always got a personalized note on his birthday cakes. How I always let him sleep holding me even though he was 10 when his dad stole. How I'd miss work to care for him when unwell. At 9, he told me something that made me cry. I organized a park Easter egg hunt for him after kids tormented him for being Jewish and made him cry so much he left school before Easter. However, he told me so much more that he appreciated that I would violate the word limit if I published it here. It's hard to remember the good times when I think about how bad I was and how much I yelled at him, drank, and smoked, but if he can, I can. I've tried. Maybe it's best that I've let him run our relationship. I've started seeing him more, and he and his girlfriend took me to dinner and gave me so many chocolates on Mother's Day. I only eat them when they come over so we can share. Even therapy has improved since I convinced him to attend some sessions with me, and I think he's realizing what I went through when I became pregnant and how much I respect his stepmother. My girlfriend now joins me at the gym. I adore my son. He was my best experience. He has all my excellent qualities and none of my bad qualities. In a world where I wasn't so wounded, I might have become like him. He makes me proud and joyful, therefore I'll never hurt him or be selfish again. Everyone who persuaded me to apologize and all mothers out there, thank you. If possible, hug your sons tonight, regardless of age. Great update, erased comments. Interesting points. 1. You realized your errors. 2. You realized you weren't too horrible. 3. Your child was always older than you realized. 4. Help was sought. 5. That aid is working. 6. Glad your son will attend several sessions too. Keep going straight. Thanks, avoid my son up. Always attempt to do what's right for him. Liliophiali, amazing. Do it for him and you. God bless you and your second chance to love yourself less than 3 GG. Many people are rooting for you. You're fantastic. You're helping him in numerous ways. Really want the best for him. Few people are like this. Slipping and falling doesn't make you dirt. You're loved. Cheshi 60, I appreciate updates like this. But someone's cutting onions at my desk, so coworkers will look at me strangely. So proud of you, up. In my experience, forgiving oneself is tougher than forgiving others, especially after addiction, but it's worth it. Glad you're fixing that relationship. Now I need tissues. Thank you, Op. Void my son. I don't think I deserve forgiveness, but if my son can, so can I. I fought my addiction for him, so I can do this. Forgiveness isn't about merit, Paisley Penguin. You don't win forgiveness. You can't buy forgiveness, can't work toward it. A forgiveness is given. Your son pardons you. Just accept. If you keep being an the other party is less likely to forgive you, but like stepmom's party, he can choose to forgive you. I'm ugly crying at my work desk because of our cockroach 1662, NGL. You did well to follow his counsel and discuss it. I love that he showed you your mommy side. Mama, see you through his eyes. My father always said there's no perfect parent. You used your tools well, and that fits your circumstance too. Remember, you did your best with your tools. No doubt you did well. See how much your son loves you and seeks your company. He wouldn't want to be around you as much if you were half as horrible a mom as you think. Our own worst critics. Avoid my son. You're right, letting him take command lets me put myself in his shoes, like letting him sit in my therapy. A boy will always adore his mom, but this past little while has impressed me with how much. Would do anything for my ideal boy. Update 2, I wish I lived my son's life. After reading a few entries, I think this is the perfect place to post. My son is perfect and a great young guy, and I love him deeply. He's 23, graduated, and doing well as an accountant because it's my career. His fiancée and he will marry in September. They celebrated me on Mother's Day, and it was a great night at home. But I've got these ideas I can't shake. At 42, I feel like my life was wasted, but my son is experiencing the best version of it. I got pregnant with my son while traveling abroad and was caught up in a silly religious obsession with other youngsters, which prevented me from seeking an abortion. At the time, I didn't want kids and felt I never would. My life became horrible after he arrived. Depressed, I drank and smoked. I tried drugs a couple times and spent hours in the gym, because I was stupid and thought I could get my physique back, and in the bar, because I wanted to be flirted with again. I've been sober for 10 years after giving up custody to his father and going to inpatient treatment for my drinking. I did all those terrible idiotic crap. Yet my son loves me so much it makes no sense. When I ask him why, he recalls all these good moments I barely remember. It makes me feel so guilty, because I would have an abortion and never had him. If I could. He was my best experience, therefore I'd do that. I've thought since Mother's Day. I never experienced college like he did because I had him. I never fell in love with someone who could sweep me off my feet and give me a fairy tale romance because I had him, due to mental health concerns. I never had a solid career or built my own business. Since I already had one, I never got to decide if I wanted kids or if it was just teenage dread. He got to do everything. He enjoyed university and graduated with honors. He's been a wonderful young man because he wooed his fiancée and told me I'll soon be a grandmother. I have no friends, spend my time at work, home, or the gym, and he's my sole family and the only one who loves me, therefore I shouldn't feel this way. I love hugging him and he makes me proud, but when he goes home to his father, I feel terrible and regret having him because I wish I could have lived his life. I told my psychiatrist this during our last session, and we had a fantastic conversation, but I can't remember it now. I don't know why it's so hard to remember things. Does anything make sense? Am I wrong to feel this? I'm stalker, sorry you feel this way. I want to note that you seem to be fixated on the what-ifs when there is no certainty you would have had all, if any, of the things you think you missed. The fact that you joined a cult suggests you wouldn't have had all those missed experiences. I suspect. You're using this as an excuse to not have attained your goals. Many women still fall in love with children. Many still go to school, graduate, and start a business with kids. Your post suggests you gave up custody for a long time, during which you could have accomplished all of these things. You may have developed mental health concerns for any reason. I think being honest with yourself and living your life will make you happier. You're 42, you're young enough to do it. I love pity parties, I have plenty, but taking responsibility and making the necessary changes to find happiness is more useful. I hope you find happiness, especially because your kid is such a fine young man who loves you and seems like he would back you in anything you do. I didn't join a cult. Avoid my son. My family was devout, and we were teenagers, so traditionalists could control us. I don't know why we believed their future promises. I still went to school, earned my degree, worked, and dated, but having my son made life different. After losing custody of my son, I spent the first half in alcoholic recovery and the rest is a blur. I remember several details, but nothing general. It's strange, but I don't know why I couldn't do my dreams then. And my memories of that time are vague. You think 42 is young, but I'm elderly. Guys hardly flirt with me anymore, and I can't go to the gym. I'm never asked out and my career is stagnant. People 10 years younger than me are higher up. Hell, if my son has a baby after he marries, I'll be a grandmother soon. Older than that. Despite having a granddaughter, I can't take credit for my son's success. My fitness was no longer sufficient to raise him once I gave up custody. Maybe if I could take responsibility for something, I wouldn't think these things. He loves me and is perfect, lucky me. I will try to be the best grandmother. Nothing bothers me as long as I'm not called grandma or Zadie. No thanks to all the folks attempting to cheer her up. I'll spoil my grandchild as my grandma did me. I appreciate everyone's efforts to cheer me up, but they're not getting it. I love my son and would do anything to keep him living well. I hate that my life wasn't like that. XMRSHMLLW. This one makes me so conflicted. I'm pleased her son loves her and can overlook her crazy conduct. I'm sad she missed out on her life to have an unwanted child. That's still hurting her. It's bad that Lost worked. Following 2 years of blogging, she appears to have not improved and may have even worsened. Saffron honeysuckle, or possibly she is just starting to think clearly and look about before rebuilding. Though not profound, I've been out of it and woke up overwhelmed and upset about missed time. Even her workout analogy is great. Unfit people may think it's impossible. You know how it feels to get there, even if you fall behind again. I doubt she's ever felt fit. Lost worked, and her comment resonated with me. Maybe if I hadn't been so broken, I'd have turned out like him. Because her son is great, beautiful, and all she aspires to be. Being proud of him has made her realize how unproud she is of herself, which hopefully will motivate her. Dramatic humor 5363. Oof, fuck. Hey oop, you ever see this? Others believe you're amazing, and your son is more like you than you think. Like him, you deserve adventures. God, that was hard to read. This mother hates herself and her life, and her son is the one bright spot. But he also represents one of her darkest experiences and contributed to her trauma. I hope she can overcome this and start loving herself. Lost worked. But I'm attempting to figure out where she was taken and imprisoned when she got pregnant. Her Jewishness is obvious, but she doesn't say where. I agree with Meg Bookworm, Orthodox sex discourages or forbids abortion. She would have struggled as a single mother. No matter, single parenthood is hard. Orthodox Jewish BR4Z3 and Boo 77. Religious Jews argue about abortion. Personally, I support life. However, I attend a large mainline Orthodox synagogue in my city, and the head rabbi preached on Saturday, our Sabbath, after the U.S. Supreme Court's RVWW decision, discussing different rabbinic opinions on abortion and concluding that Jewish law allows it. This is mainstream Orthodox Judaism. Bearded, black-hatted, and 8 kids. Reiterated ethnic Jewishness and Easter. Despite being officially Jewish, this mom and her son are not Jewish practitioners. Others likely said she was a fringe Christian sect.